Hi everybody, this is Ruth Royal from Youth Pledge for Employers, and I'm really delighted to be here today with Tracy Thompson, who's Operations Director at Tooth Club Ipswich. Hello Tracy, lovely to meet you.
Hello, thank you for having me today.
Oh, you're so welcome. So first of all, tell us a bit about what Tooth Club is.
Certainly. So, Tooth Club is a dental practice, and
Right.
if you were to just walk past us in Ipswich, you wouldn't necessarily think that because we've got a slightly different approach. So, the environment we set it up 2 years ago during lockdown, and we're very proud to say we were able to help and support a lot of patients during lockdown without any COVID cases for 12 months. So, we worked really hard.
Wow, that's
Yeah,
amazing.
it's a fabulous place to work. So it doesn't smell like a usual dental clinic. For anyone that doesn't like going to the dentist, including me, I don't think anyone enjoys going to see the dentist. It's got flowers on the wall. It smells nice. We play music, and it's a fun environment to work.
Oh, that sounds amazing. And I guess being a dentist, people do all different sorts of jobs there. Would you talk us through some of the different jobs that people do and the skills that they've
Yes,
got?
certainly. Yeah. So it's actually a lot easier than people think to get into dentistry.
Really?
Because when you first Google it, it will say, oh, you need to go to university for 7 years. But at any age, you could come and join us as a trainee dental nurse.
Right?
And we support that with studying on the job, as we call it.
Wow, brilliant.
And that you can gain that qualification by working in our surgeries 4 days a week and then attending a virtual class once a week and having 8 hours study. You can become a qualified dental nurse within 2 years. So it's a
That's
brilliant
phenomenal.
opportunity. Yeah, it
That's
really is
absolutely
good.
incredible.
And that's how people really start. So we've got the dental nurse. The other role we do for people that don't like the thought of being in surgery and watching teeth being extracted, because you have to bear in mind you do see a little bit of blood, and if that's not for you, we have administration roles. So
Right,
there's
okay.
three main administration roles. One is reception. So it's dealing with the public face to face, answering the calls, and then responding on social media, which goes down
Right.
really well with our youngsters. They love the TikTok, the Instagram, and the Facebook. So getting involved in creating content for
Wow.
those as well. So that's good fun. And then we also have a treatment coordinator. Now, the treatment coordinators don't have to understand dentistry at all, because it's really more about um, organising the treatments in the
Right.
diary. So it's just about being able to use a spreadsheet and a computer and to be able to have manners and be polite when talking to patients.
Wow. So that's so interesting that those roles have clearly got like a lot of people skills in them as well.
Yes. Yeah, very much so. Yes.
Oh,
Yeah.
that's fantastic. And so with those roles, do you tend to advertise those locally? Are they or where if people would think, oh yes, that sounds brilliant. That's the
Yes.
environment for me. Where might they look out for those sorts of
Yeah, it's a
jobs?
really good point, actually. So the main people that join us are from Indeed.
Right.
And then we've started to put signs up in the window, because what's really nice is to have local people. So when the patients do come in, they really relate to people that actually are
Yeah.
in or in the surrounding areas.
Oh, that's a
So
lovely idea.
yeah, which is really good. So yeah, so that works really well. And we welcome, what we tend to do as well is have trial days. So we welcome anybody who would like to come and spend a day or a week with us, even if it is from the nursing point of view. If you were to come and have it would have to be observations in surgery, because you have to have
Yeah.
special injections to be
Right.
able to handle any instruments. But yeah, we welcome anybody that would like to come and spend some time with us and to see what it's all
Oh,
about.
that's fantastic. And that's so interesting as well. I think, as like you say, often people think of dentistry like, that basically you can be a dentist and that's sort of the job, but there's so many things around that. And I
Yes.
guess that for those roles, you're looking for those good people skills. You're looking for like with the receptionist role in particular, like you can do the content management for things like, your social media, as well as having those
Yes.
good sort of telephone manners. And I'm guessing probably good written English skills to be able to communicate via email effectively?
Yes, yes, but but pretty much everybody, including myself, is always on some sort of a course and
Oh
education to
wow.
support online learning. We have a fabulous, because everybody learns in different ways, and I'm a typical student that I have to do something 7 times before it makes sense. So
Yeah.
what we have there is a real understanding of learning and different styles. Just putting someone in front of a computer on a compliance portal can be very boring for some, but some absolutely love it and like to be left on their own. So there's lots of different ways, and we have something called the CPD as well,
Right.
which we're consistently reviewing each month, and there's lots of support with lots of very experienced people for anyone that needs that one-to-one support with their continued education.
It sounds like a
Yeah.
really supportive place to work as well. And I guess that's particularly important if you're looking to develop that career in dentistry with like the trainee dental nurse role. What
Yes.
sort of people tend to come into that role? Do you have people from, sort of who've always had an interest in that field or?
Yes, and some people fall into it. Particularly, we've had some great students that have been in retail, and they've made the best dental nurses because they've
Wow.
already got that understanding of dealing with the customers face to face.
Yeah.
And it's exactly the same with their patients.
Oh gosh, that's so
Yeah,
clever to make that correlation. That's so,
it
I would
really
never have thought of that,
works.
but now you've said that, that's so obvious, isn't it?
It's
That's
just,
brilliant.
yeah,
So anybody
yeah,
looking for a change from a retail background should think
works
about,
very well.
yeah,
Yeah, works really well. Yeah, so
oh,
that's good.
brilliant. And then do you need, I guess, being a trainee dental nurse, I guess you obviously need sort of the capability to learn more technical medical things. Is that right?
Yes, but there's lots of different ways to get that qualification as well. So maths and English. So anybody that doesn't have their maths and English, so we help to get the maths and English through Ellis
Oh,
as
brilliant.
part of the course, as part of the dental nurse course. So that's really good. And again, there's different ways. It might be an hour a day. It might be 2 full days within a month. It's just again to what suits that
Mm,
individual.
wow.
Yeah, and the actual science side of it is not as technical and difficult as people think it is. It's one of those qualifications just not to be scared of, and actually you can't fail it because we put it under the city and guilds so
Yeah.
that we just keep going back and addressing and getting another layer of education on until all the units are completed.
Oh, Tracy, what a
Yeah, so
fantastic approach. That sounds absolutely brilliant. And it sounds like a
yes.
really lovely sort of working environment to be in as
It
well.
is, and we've learnt lots on the way. And I think when we first opened, it just got so busy so quickly, I think, because a lot of patients were unable to get into the dentist in Ipswich for many, many years. So we
Yeah,
were dealing with people that hadn't seen a dentist for 8 years. So I think, it got quite challenging because we couldn't answer the phones quick enough. And we've now got 2 years on, we've now got 7 surgeries. We had to open and build
wow.
another surgery. It got that busy. And I can honestly put my hand on my heart and say the people that work there are the nicest people I've worked with in my career. You could meet us all in a restaurant or a pub without our scrubs on, without our uniforms, and you would not know who was the implantologist with 18 years experience through to who was the cleaner. We're all very down to earth people.
Oh,
Yeah,
wow.
it makes it a nice place to work.
It
Yeah.
sounds like a really inclusive environment as well for people to be in, which is really lovely,
Yes.
especially for young
Yes.
people looking for that first step.
Absolutely. And we do have, the age range of people that work there is mainly young, so it's nice. So all the girls meet up. We have a Christmas party. We do an award ceremony once a year where everyone gets dressed up in their evening wear, which is really nice.
Oh, wow.
And we also do every month, all the staff, they actually vote for each other as to who was the best member of staff for the month and why, and what could they have done. They may have made the most improvements.
Oh,
um,
wow.
and we also do something called Fat Friday, where we eat lots of pizza on the last Friday of the month, and we all talk together in the staff room.
Oh, that sounds really nice. It sounds like a really supportive environment to work in and
It,
to be that sort of togetherness with how
it
you're
is.
approaching what you're
Yeah.
doing. Because I guess there are times where it might be sort of more challenging in the job. I wonder what sort of perhaps some of the what kind of challenging aspects that people might come across in the role.
Yes. So I'll be really honest with you. When I'm interviewing any youngster that would like to come in to be a dental nurse, I will ask questions like, how do you feel about not having false nails? Because, you know, when you work in surgery and it's
Yeah,
very on trend to have these beautiful nails, and, you know, it's in touch with reality of if obviously on the administration side, we can still have
yeah,
those. And the challenges are you're learning a new job,
hmm,
you are studying,
yeah.
you're learning new software. So you're learning to be three different new people within, you know, what in within sort of 38 hours a week. So it really is challenging. It really is.
Oh, that's I can see that, and but it sounds like there's a lot of support in your organisation for that as well. I wondered,
Yes.
sort of just kind of taking a minute as we sort of get to the end, really, just to sort of reflect back on your own career, Tracy, and if you were to go back and have a conversation with your younger self, what bit of careers advice would you give yourself and why?
So I would say it's all around confidence.
Yeah,
So anybody that's frightened of the educational part of it, don't be, because there's so many different ways of learning in any business now. And this is an example of where it's grown over the years. Before, you had to have A levels, and you know, no one would even dare. But now it's achievable, and it's about the confidence and believing in yourself and finding a buddy. That's really important in the workplace, to find a buddy, someone you can relate to personally, who's been on that same journey that can help you. And you could pick the phone up to say, oh, you know, I dealt with something today. I wasn't really sure. What would you have done differently? And not being afraid to put yourself out there.
oh well, that's a brilliant message to end on, Tracy. Thank you so much for your time today. It's just been lovely to talk to you.
And to you, thank you very much for your time. It's an absolute pleasure.